Welcome, Hornet community, to Hornetcast, episode 6. I'm Dr. Don. I'm your host. We're very excited to be with you today to talk about something called Hornet's Time. That's right, Hornet's Time. It's an exciting venture in our lower school, and so I have some guests to come talk about what it is and what it's not and what its purpose is. And we're going to start with Diana Morales. She's a learning specialist and the RTI coordinator. Now, you might ask, what does RTI stand for? Response to Intervention. Okay, we'll talk about what that means in a second. Educators love to use letters. So alphabet soup, RTI coordinator. We also have Karina Cup here today, and she is also a grade 5 learning specialist. And then we have the esteemed Mr. David Landis, who's our Student Support Services Dean. So what is Hornets Time? Because I know some of the parents have heard that their kids say, well, I got Hornets Time. And they're like, what is that? Are you in a hive? What are you doing? Collecting bee? What are you doing?
Bueno, para empezar, Hornet's Time es un tiempo que dedicamos a los estudiantes, es un tiempo especial para ellos, nos dedicamos a trabajar en sus diferentes necesidades, tenemos evaluación de resultados, nos reunimos con los maestros para saber tomar decisiones, saber qué es lo que cada estudiante necesita y respondemos a esas necesidades. Tenemos grupos en donde podemos reforzar algo en específico o también podemos apoyar a los estudiantes a que sigan brillando.
¿Y esos grupos son de qué cantidad de estudiantes cuando terminan sus proyecciones, lo que necesiten ellos?
Dependen de las agrupaciones que tengamos. Pueden ser grupos de 10 estudiantes, hemos tenido 15 estudiantes en un grupo, o incluso hemos tenido 5 estudiantes nada más. Depende mucho de la necesidad de los estudiantes.
Ok, muy bien.
To add on to what Deanna said, it's also a piece and a part of it, logistically speaking, that is very helpful across the sections, is that the students are divided amongst all of the teachers and educators on that team. And for that reason, it really helps our collective efficacy, trying to work with a diverse group of kids. We all get to know the children, which is really lovely. We get to make educational choices as a team, and we all know the kids, and we know exactly like what we're doing, what direction we're going in. And then logistically speaking, what it means is that the kids are in these groups 4 times a week for 40 minutes. And it has been an amazing experience because it really allows us to target instruction towards the children and what they need.
So let me see if I have this straight. 4 times a week for 40 minutes. All of the teachers in the 5th grade, and you too?
Correct.
Yeah.
All the specialists, they all teach a Hornets Time.
Yes.
And you have some student. How many students do you have in your Hornets
11.
Time? 11?
9.
9. And so those students are from all the different 5th grade sections.
That is correct.
So they're mixed up, and then you have them for how long?
40 minutes.
But for how many months, weeks?
Good question. So we have cycles, and those cycles tend to be around 6-week cycles. And at the end of each cycle, we reevaluate, we look at data during our data meetings, which are incredibly helpful for making these choices. And we regroup them and start the cycle over again. And there's about 4 cycles per year.
Okay, so it's kind of a targeted cycle where you're intervening to help the kid succeed in an area maybe that they need a little bit of help or they need to be enriched in. So maybe we could talk about some of the options that kids go to based on their needs. What would those Hornets Time sections be about? What are some of those?
Tenemos diferentes áreas, específicamente nos enfocamos en lectura, en escritura, tenemos matemática enriquecimiento, tenemos lectura de enriquecimiento también. Hemos tenido programas específicos, uno se llama Esperanza, que es enfocado a apoyo a la dislexia en español. Hemos tenido también de Inquiry también.
Inquiry, okay.
Es variedad, depende, por ejemplo, lectura lo podemos dividir en fluidez, en comprensión, lo mismo que escritura, puede ser una escritura, un proceso de desarrollo, un proceso de organización, de lluvia de ideas, es variedad.
Okay. I happen to have, and maybe Mr. Landis can talk about this too, but I happen to have passed through a couple of times when the teams are working on getting their Hornets groups put together, and it's quite the orchestration. Like the room is filled with little pieces of paper with data on them, and there's folders, and there's little signs, and then there's discussion about this kid needs this, but he needs this more, and so where do we put him? And then you're moving names around. Am I accurate in saying that that's just a really fun time, but kind of chaotic?
Yeah, I think that's a really fair way of putting it, for sure. I think that a big piece of it, it's very well organized, in which case, like, we have all of the data we need to make informed decisions. I do think that there is some piece of it where you do need to come into discussions surrounding what is the best placement for certain students, and that possibly is what you're speaking to, where the chaos ensues. But I would say that we're very well oiled in this system at this point in grade 5, because we've now been doing it in grade 5 for at least 2 years, more so a year and a half, I would say. We're only halfway through the year. But I think that there is a piece where, teamwork. That's like just a beautiful way of putting it.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of energy. And I think the teachers really advocate for the kids, right? The teacher that's the homeroom of that kid can really give a lot of extra data and say, well, he really needs this or she really needs this. And then there's a healthy debate. And so it's just a really incredible opportunity to see the teachers looking at the data, making decisions that are instructional to help their kids. It's amazing. And it's like half a day, right? It's like a good chunk of time, 3 hours or
Almost 3 hours.
almost 3 hours, right? So we get substitutes and bring them in, and the teachers, or during their planning times, it's a big chunk of time.
Yeah. Y es un trabajo en equipo también porque los administradores de Lower School nos apoyan para que en ese tiempo también los maestros tengan sustitutos o le han llamado este año un Healthy Day. Los estudiantes están haciendo actividades en la montañita o en las clases enfocadas a la salud. Maestros de artes aplicadas apoyan también ese día y los maestros tienen el tiempo disponible para poder trabajar en nuestra reunión de data.
Sounds very well organized.
One of the strengths, and I'm really glad that they're talking about the data team meeting. That's what we call this 3-hour meeting. And one of the real strengths of Hornets Time is that it really originated from the teachers. 2 years ago, the grade 2 team came to the then Dean of Student Support Services and said, we want to create an intervention block, a time when we can provide targeted instruction to students, particularly in literacy at the time, to make sure that those students are moving forward in their learning. And that was the first year, 2 years ago, that we tried Hornets Time. And we developed then this data team meeting protocol. And since then, in the next year, we added grade 5. And then in January of last year, we added grade 3. And this year, we've got all grades 2, 3, 4, and 5, running Hornets Time. And it is that data team meeting. That is the sort of behind-the-scenes machine system that really makes Hornets Time thrive. And it's really focused on creating a sense of what we call collective efficacy. And that is the belief that the entire grade level team shares a belief that they have the capacity to make a tremendous difference in the learning of every child in that grade level. So it's shared responsibility for the learning of all students in that grade level, and it's a team effort. We're going to work together in the interests of students. And yes, sometimes it's messy. Collaboration oftentimes involves discussions and debates, but that's part of being part of a team. And I couldn't be more thrilled with where we are, and this program is going to just get stronger in the years ahead.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think another really beautiful piece about it, now that I was listening to what David was describing, is the part where it also lends itself really nicely to teachers' expertise. So in other words, if you happen to find yourself in a position where you feel you're a very strong writing or mathematics instructor, it helps you have that opportunity to really help kids in the area that they need and that you are particularly well suited for. And so that piece is also it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. I think it makes a huge difference being able to have a time period in the day, 4 days a week, where kids can get more targeted, specific help for what they need help with, or enrichment or challenge. And I think it lends itself having the whole team be part of it, because the groups can be smaller so that kids really get more attention and more one-on-one. And I think that's the awesome part about Hornets Time.
Yeah.
Y otra cosa importante es que los estudiantes también tienen la oportunidad de trabajar con otros maestros. Pueden trabajar
Very
con
true.
maestros que quizás solo los ven y los saludan, pero que también al aprender de ellos o junto a ellos es un cambio para ellos también.
Yeah, it's good that kids have relationships with lots of trusted adults that can help them along in their learning journey. So awesome. Okay, well, we always finish our segments with our guests by saying "Go Hornets." We haven't had the perfect "Go Hornets" yet in any of our episodes, so this could be it. So on the count of 3, we're going to say "Go Hornets," and let's just hear the enthusiasm for Hornets time. 1, 2, 3. Go Hornets! That was pretty good. Near perfect. Welcome back to Hornetcast episode 6. We were talking about Hornets time, and so I thought I would bring in the real players right now. 2 of our 5th graders who happen to have Hornets time 4 days a week. So I have Carolina and Santi, who are here today. They're very famous 5th graders. Look at their smiles. Don't they look good? So what can you tell me about Hornets time? Let's start with you, Carolina.
It's pretty good because you learn more things that are new, and it's cool because the teachers always make a way you smile and learn a funny way.
Okay, so it's kind of fun. And then tell me about your Hornets time right now that you're in, because I know you change every 6 weeks, but what are you doing right now, Carolina?
I'm doing compression on Spanish, and our teacher always make us do games, and she read us things, and it's so fun because you learn while you're getting fun.
Okay, so it's fun learning time. How many other students are in your Hornets time? Do you know?
Like 10?
Like 10, okay. That's a good number. So you
Yeah.
can have a lot of fun games with 10
Yes.
students. Perfect. Santi, what about you?
My Hornets time group is Spanish also, but it's with a different teacher, and it's we do fun games once a week, and we do I don't know how to say it in English, but dictados.
Dictados, so
And
dictation.
every day we do one, and one day a week we play games. One day a week we do our own dictados, and the other 3 days we copy and listen to the teacher's one.
Okay. So what do you two think about your improvement in español, en comprehensión y todo writing? You're doing some writing, right?
Yes.
Have you gotten better at it?
Yes.
Yes, I might say because you learn doing fun stuff, it make it easier to learn, and I had learned a lot of stuff like it's better, and we read every day, and since I'm that Hornet, I like reading.
You are a Hornet. All Hornets love reading, right? Of course, go Hornets. What about you, Santi?
And I think that the Hornets time groups that we have, it's because they are like the things that we need to get better at. They're specific groups for specific people. So the people that are in each group, the people, some groups may have 7 people, some have 11, and it depends on how much people need the Hornets time topic.
Okay, well, I think you said that so well, Santi. I had a couple teachers on here talking about Hornets time, but I think you said it better than them. You were good. You explained that really well. Anything else that you guys want to say about Hornets time?
Yes, like sometimes you don't like too much your Hornets, but when you see the improvement, you say like, "Whoa, this helps a lot."
Yeah, and also sometimes you get to pick what Hornets time you're in, but it just gives you more chance to be in that Hornets time because I choose some Hornets times and I didn't get those, but the one that I got, and now I know why I got that one, and I'm getting a lot better.
Okay, so you get something ahead of time where you can pick which Hornets times you think you might need to be in, but then the teachers looks at that and they look at the data. They might put you in a different one, but then they show you why you need that one.
Yeah, at the beginning you're like, why am this Hornet? I'm improving on this on class. But when you are like doing the works, you see that the different you need it because you had no, like, you're not the best on that.
Okay.
Because in the first one that I got, I didn't understand a lot. So, but in the second class, yeah, I started getting better at it.
That sounds great. I pulled you guys out of International Day, didn't I?
Yes.
And you want to get back, right, to all the fun. So I'm going to let you get back, but not before you say "Go Hornets" with me on the count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Go Hornets!